back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through one thing. It's just gonna solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Laura, is he gonna be able to find these shots true?
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Annabelle, immediately goes back, like fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2-3, so back and forth.
All right, good evening, everybody. It's that time of the season again, halfway through, and the mid-season playoffs have begun here on the NA side, and we have a great matchup here to start off our night in the NA Masters tier, as Low Ground Main will take on Shoebill Nation. My name is Dextron, that is Naya, and Naya, we were talking about before we came on, we have one hell of a matchup to kick things off here.
Yeah, 2 great teams. Shoebill Nation coming up into this one 3-1 with their season record so far. But you look at Low Ground Main, which is undefeated. They have a 12-1 win-loss map record throughout the season. But you look at this Shoebill Nation team, Dex, they have 9-6 up in their win-loss records going through the maps here. So this is definitely going to be interesting to tell which story it's going to lead up into. Is it going to be Shoebill Nation, or will it be Low Ground Main?
Yeah, Shoebill Nation, though, I mean, their only one loss came to the other undefeated team here in this tier at the moment of Sort of Skilled. But there's a lot of other action going on here tonight at CGL. Currently going over on the main stream, or on CGL 1, it is Emmy Abyssal versus Cuddle Puddle over there. Cuddle Puddle currently up 1-0. Low Ground Main, Shoebill Nation, well, hey, you already know where that is. You're watching it. Solar Eclipse and Phantoms, they'll come on at 10 o'clock back over on CGL1. So a lot of action still to go here tonight. But let's now focus in back on this one. Like we were kind of mentioning, these two teams, they had some battle scars here. Well, not really that much if you look at Low Ground Main. Like you said, 1 map loss to their name. Shoebill Nation, though, got swept in week 1 by Sort of Skill. The only other undefeated team in this tier has dropped the map every other week, but has been able to win out here. I think this is going to be a really, really good game.
Yeah, and it definitely should, but it also comes down to like the compositions that the team runs. We do get to see Shoebill Nation kind of favor that dive composition, but you look at Low Ground Main, which could favor basically anything. But yeah, this is definitely going to be intriguing for the ones to watch here. And as we get to see here our little bracket, the winner will move on to that winners round 2. So if you are these two teams, you definitely don't want to lose, right? You want to win.
Yeah, as you can see here, winners round 1, winners round 2. There's no lower bracket, and hell, there's no other teams in this one here. Top 4 in NA Masters were the cutoff here for that mid-season. So win 2 games, and hey, you get yourself an extra win in that win column. You make it to the grand finals. I believe you get a couple extra map wins as well. But everyone wants to be those champions of the mid-season. So a great way to start off tonight would be, hey, locking yourself in to that grand finals matchup here. But now, there's a lot of interesting players across these two teams here. We want to look in, though, at how the two flex supports have been playing for these two teams so far, because the stats are good, everything's good, the records are good for these two teams. Let's look at them here. Zeta Teriyaki and Daydream here for Shoebill Nation. I mean, you see Zeta Teriyaki on Low Ground Main. Not a lot of fun, not a lot of kills, only 2, but as a flex support, you're not necessarily looking for them to get kills. That healing, though, per 10, about the same.
Yeah, and it's definitely going to be interesting. You look at that healing per 10, how you just did state, it's basically that 20 difference. But something that's also going to be interesting here, Dex, is how they get their final blows, but as well their damage per 10. I know that perk of Ana can bounce the nade now, which that's always exciting to see, but it places up such great opportunities to dive. So maybe Shoebill Nation just have more of a favor heading up into this one if they were to run those dive compositions.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't touch on the deaths per 10 there a little bit. I mean, Shoebill Nation's DA Dream has, almost 5 deaths per 10, while low ground main, let's just round up and say 4. So, I mean, that one extra death right there might be something that turns the tides of a couple fights here, if that is to be the case here tonight. But it's going to be a very interesting battle between these two here. I've casted both these two teams in the past, and they are very, very solid teams here. But Naya, I mean, it's time to move on to our maps now. And what other better place to start off a series than the tried, the true, everyone's favorite control map of Lijiang Tower?
Yeah, Lijiang Tower, it brings a lot of variety of compositions. Teams could run brawl, dive, but hey, after looking at these team sheets, I expect that high aggression dive composition coming out from both. But as well, I know over the weekend teams did run a brawl type composition where meta was Malga, so I wouldn't be surprised if that were to be come out here today. But it's also going to be interesting because we got perks and bans to this.
And we were so close to getting away from Amalgameta. We were so very, very close
Yeah.
from escaping it. But no, the Samoan always comes back somehow and even better than ever, which I don't think anyone's really excited about. But, I mean, low ground main getting our first ban here of the night. It's going to be really an interesting one here because, I mean, we know a little bit about the teams here, but this first ban will kind of tell us what the mindset is here heading into Lijiang.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to focus it up on dive here, maybe take out that Malga. I bet these two teams have watched it happen over the weekend, but you kind of look at the support lines in the DPS, maybe take out a support where that high aggression pace dive could not possibly come out, and maybe you could have a slower pace up into it where you could run a Brig Ana. But it's going to be interesting to see. Maybe take out damage. Who knows here, Dex? But we will be able to get to see here what low ground main is gonna pick. And it's gonna be support, and it's a mercy ban. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, that kind of feels like it's more of a protection ban than anything else. I don't believe there's a Mercy one trick over there on the side of Shoebill Nation. I believe there is a Mercy one trick in the Masters tier, but not on Shoebill Nation. Shoebill Nation, I mean, they now have a lot to pick from here. You could try to ban out maybe the Malga here early on, try to see what the other team necessarily has, but you could be playing right into the hands of low ground main, or you go after maybe someone you know is going to be a little bit of a problem on this map when it comes to that DPS line.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely take out a DPS that could favor in those brawl positions, but like how you did say, they could target that Malga off first. But whether this decides what these teams want to run, I do think to keep the dive up into this could definitely be smart. So maybe just target, and it's going to be a hazard ban. Okay.
I feel like at this point, Hazard's not necessarily, like, he's still strong and everything, but really when you look at it, the perks aren't necessarily the best, and you start to see Hazard fall off more and more here, just not being picked.
Yeah.
So banning out the Hazard kind of seems a little bit interesting here, Naya. But I mean, you see the two bans there, low ground main banning out the Mercy, Shoebill Nation banning out the Hazard here. No DPS gonna be banned on map 1, map 2. We might have a little bit of a different story, but I mean, we talked about these teams a decent amount here, Naya. Why don't we actually introduce you to the teams here? First off, with low ground main here, you have Pred and Kind on that DPS line, Zebra on the tank, and then Zet Teriyaki and Saucer as your support line here. This was a really good team when I cast them about 2 weeks ago here, and I expect them to continue that kind of strive in this series here tonight.
Yeah, especially with their 4-0 record. But let's take a look at Shoebill Nation. We got some players up on there that want to put their name to the marking. We got Love Sane and Sunflower up on those DPS roles. We got Simple Math up on the tank. But you look at those wonderful and fantastic supports. We got Daydream and Shadowy Shoebill Nation are going to try and find an answer to this with their win-loss map records against a basically undefeated team, which is Low Ground Main. Dex, this is going to be so intriguing to watch.
Yeah, and remember, we highlighted Daydream and Zet Teriyaki on the other side here, so that's gonna be really fun to watch those two flex supports go at it here tonight. But I mean, just by the hero portraits here, we see a little bit different kind of play styles. But I mean, it's never necessarily the case of what we're gonna see going in. But I mean, you could always speculate that maybe Shoebill Nation likes to run a little bit dive, and on the other side for Low Ground Main, maybe they like to play a little bit of brawl, a little bit rush play style with that Jungle Queen that they had there.
Yeah, who knows what we're going to be able to get to see, but we are going to be heading up into Lijiang, and I gotta say, Lijiang is a great map overall. It takes teams to think over and outside of their mind box, but it's always a great introduction to a series like this that we're about to see. So let's see what these two teams are going to pick, and Dex, as I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with that aggression pace.
I see Orion currently from whoever is the red team here, and will we see the respectable battle on the other side? No, it's going to be Zebra and Low Ground Main coming out on the Winston, which doesn't necessarily surprise me for this map here. And Winston does find a lot of value. The Rhine, though, I mean, unless you're going to try to bunker on point with that sim, it might be able to do it for you, but you're going to have a hard time.
Yeah, if you are Shoebill Nation, you are going to be trying to position with this TP and possibly play around that shield if you are Simple and Daydream and Shadowy, though. You gotta take these tempo speeds around this low ground main time and just think of what you could do against this support backline.
Shoebill doing exactly what we kind of thought they would do here. TP to point, now gonna try to bunker down. Zet Teriyaki, though, getting chunked down a little bit too soon here as Zebra Cookie here in this backline. Just trying to cause a little bit of a distraction here. Maybe try to clean up on one C's. That Love Sin is very low, but that burst healing coming out from Daydream is gonna be enough to keep them alive here. Zebra Cookie's gonna have to dive back out, but they might just throw themselves right back into the middle of fire. However, they're gonna be able to stay alive here. Shoebill Nation looking like they're gonna be able to cap this point up first here, but it's gonna be Pred finding Daydream out, and this is exactly what Low Ground Main wanted here. You get Shoebill Nation low, and you go in for a couple dives out of that to clean up. Yeah, Shoebill Nation cap point here first, but you slowly see them start falling one by one here.
Yeah, Shoebill Nation will have to regroup after these picks, but you look at Low Ground Main, which are taking this initial very, very smart in this composition that they're running with the Winston Echo Tracer. If you're Pred, maybe just focus Daydream more and more to take out that immortality, but as well, Shadowy playing that main support. Taking out those supports would be a huge factor on the Low Ground Main side to just engage more off of, but let's see what Shoebill Nation does.
Big TP this time around, but oh, the shield bash there by Saucer is going to lead to their death. Pred, though, will come back with 2 kills of their own with that pulse bomb right there, keeping Low Ground Main very much in this fight. Pred with 3, Zeta Teriyaki to find. Simple math right there, and the last one left alive is Sunflower, who's only kind of staggering themselves out here. They will find Zeta Teriyaki, but Kind will find them right back.
Though, just like how we just got to see there, Low Ground Main and Pred hitting that nasty pulse bomb up onto 2 and getting the 3rd pick. But yeah, if you're Shoebill Nation, you could definitely still do something against this team because the ultimates that are coming up are so huge and that could just be used here any second now. But look at what these teams could possibly pop. Maybe Shatter.
Shatter does come out right there, only lands on the Zebra Cookie right now. They're going to be able to find them, but they're anted up at the moment. Shoebill Nation does have the point back in their control, though, but Low Ground Main, I mean, outside of that Winston being down, they have everyone here. Sauce, they're going to be able to find Sunflower. The charge coming out from Simple Math, hoping that Ice Wall would be down, was not. They run into it, and they were also run into their own grave. Low Ground Main takes the point right back.
Yeah, Low Ground Main is reading them just like a book, and the story is kind of setting right now for Low Ground Main up on the first initial. But you look at this Low Ground Main team, they are set with ultimates. They have 3 up on the Engage side, and Orbital Rays can be popped, which if you are the Low Ground Main, I gotta say, this is actually a smart choice, but look at this.
I like what Shoebill Nation's doing here. Low Ground Main is actually very much biting into playing a little bit aggressively here, and Shoebill Nation is just taking the TP every time. They faked it the last time, and it ended up not working out for them. But this time again, they're going to be able to get the point flip here, but they lose Daydream. Shadowy has to wall right away here as safety, but you're just watching everyone on Shoebill Nation fall one by one here yet again. The cleanup here for Low Ground Main, and hell, they only invested 2 ultimates into that fight. Shoebill Nation I mean, you're still behind, but you have both your support ultimates.
Yeah, Shoebill Nation could get back up onto this one. They need to position well, right? But you do get to see Sunflower swap to that Reaper. Maybe it's more aggression pace for them, but the two support ultimates need to be huge. But look at that, Pred just never get love saying that now you're working with a 5v4 situation, Dex.
And you're working without your teleporter as well. Shadow, we gotta pop that beat right there to keep everyone alive. Kind looking for the boops off the map. Ooh. Not gonna be able to find them there. Pred yet again finding one, but oh, Shadow, we able to find Kind right there, but it's Pred. It's just the Pred show here. 3 kills for them already. This one, again, they've been able to stick every pulse bomb they thrown. There's a number 4 right there for Pred, and low ground main will take our first point here on Lijiang Tower of a very, very good performance by everyone, but Pred so far the standout.
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, the Pred showing out up on their side. But if you are the opposing, well, here, you know what? Let's take a look at this replay, because I know that we got to see some nasty stuff from both the sides, but more up on the side of low ground main, especially this play going forth where you had Pred pop that pulse bomb, Dex, and it just gave so much great planning for this low ground main team to just execute off of, which was great. But if you are Shoebill Nation, though, you're in a tough spot. You did just lose that first sector, but you're heading back up into this one, and looking at the swaps that they've made, you're rolling out with that TP still, but you have Sunflower playing the maze, so maybe if you are Shoebill, you could look for the walls.
I mean, Zebra Cookie trying to escape. You already lose Zek Teriyaki here if you're low ground main. You're going to have to fall back here a little bit. Zebra does grab that large health pack, but it only means they die a little bit later here, about a second. Shoebill Nation, I mean, this is the kind of start you exactly needed from them, and Fred just decides to jump off the map. Shadowy will get credit for the kill right there, but again, the start that Shoebill Nation needed after a little bit of a struggle last point.
Yeah, and it's going to be something to watch for if you are low ground main. You can't position up on the outskirts of the map, but I like where they're taking this. Is it smart, though?
Oh. It might not be smart. You lose simple math here pretty early. Now, if you're low ground main, you can play pretty aggressively into this here. I mean, even Sunflower kind of has to back up here. Kind coming out on the Soj here, going to be able to slide in, force that ice wall out, but oh, they did not hear it go crashing down. Kind will lose themselves there. Nice anti-nade on the Love Sane, but Saucer going to be able to find them there. But the rest of their team, not necessarily looking the best here. Saucer will find 2. Zebra Cookie, though, still finding 1 here. Swinging away, will get pinned into the wall by Simple Math, who will take them out right after that. Low ground main did take the point through all that, so they are building a little bit of percentage here, not letting Shoebill Nation take a much larger lead.
Though Shu does have Sunflower's ultimate up Blizzard, and Simple coming up on this Shatter, which could be just popped any second now. I wouldn't be surprised if this was forced out a little early, but look at that aggression. Simple able to get 2 there, Dex, and they still have these ultimates to just use against low ground main side, which I would be a little scared if you are low ground main. Now you're looking at Shoebill, which are set with ults.
Ice Wall comes out. There's the Blizzard from Sunflower right there. Looking like it's going to be able to freeze up 1. The Nano thrown out on the Saucer. Not going to be able to save them this time around. The Nano is on the Zebra Cookie as well. That Shatter still being held on to here. Zet Teriyaki going to be able to find Simple Math right there. So low ground main, you have your opportunity here now to go in. You just have to be able to break through. You're going to be able to do that right there, but you lose Pred in that backline. You will be able to trade out Sunflower. Photon Barrier out from Love Sane is Zebra Cookie, desperately trying to keep themselves alive, but it's Kind coming in with the Savior right there to get rid of Love. The Shadow, though, finds 2. The Orbital Ray coming out from Zet Teriyaki, going to be able to keep Zebra Cookie alive there. Shoebill Nation, I mean, at this point, you're just stalling out. This is a fight won here for low ground main, and it was one they desperately needed.
Yeah, and we got to see a sleep dart there, too, which anything could happen here, but let's see what low ground main does. They need this percentage marking so badly. They got 3 ultimates to do it, right? Zebra Cookie with their Shatter ready to go, but Red and Kind, they can look for some good ones. So this is not, well, okay, wait, it's gonna go up in the attack there.
I mean, the Shatter to the Blizzard came out right there. Neither really finding a lot of value. I think the only value that came from the 2 of those was maybe Daydream dying right there, but you win the fight. And it looks very good for low ground main here. However, you now only have this overclock with Shoebill Nation coming in with both their support ultimates.
Yeah, if you're Shoebill, maybe position this window off the side, but Shadowy could just sustain an ultimate, which could be kind, but look at that. They're just going to be able to walk up in.
Is that Ryan's shield bash icon? Zebra Cookie gonna be able to trade out simple math right there. So no Ryan on the side of Shoebill Nation, no Sim as well. And right now, I mean, this is the type of fight you're just trying to get out of as fast as you can. Yeah, you will find one, but it's not necessarily gonna do a lot. And oh, Sunflower, you want that ult back.
Yeah, and something to talk about is both of these support lines are putting up in the work, but it's going to come down to a tank ultimate up on the side of Zebra. Can they hit a nasty shatter up on this Shoebill side? And look at that, that's getting some.
Fine. It finds two. Now the nano thrown out here on a Zebra Cookie. Both Ryans go charging into each other. Gonna lead Pred to finding simple math. Shadowy will be able to trade it, but how much longer can this Lucio go on at the moment? You have the Tracer there for help, but they're put to sleep and put to sleep permanently as well. Shadowy now trying their best, but it's gonna be Zet Teriyaki taking them out right there, and low ground main gonna be able to win map number 1 here, keeping a pretty solid map streak alive here.
Yeah, low ground main showing why they are a 4-0 team. But yeah, Zebra played extremely well, especially the support line, right? They really communicated it. Something though to tell from this side of low ground main is how they position. If they position more often into these scenarios where they just go real quick up into the line of sight, they just take these fights for themselves. So can Shoebill Nation change the factor though? That's something that we haven't gone to see, but they have been back and forth there in time. So this is not over if you are Nation. You still have great players, and maybe with this next map choice, you can get back up onto the side of low ground main.
Yeah, that second point, you definitely saw Shoebill Nation play a little bit differently, and they looked a lot better there. But it was just some of the ultimates that they used there, maybe over-investing in some. You could definitely talk about Sunflower's Blizzard they threw out there pretty late in the map. Yeah, I understand why they use it, but if you hold on to it, your team was, trying to stall it out a little bit. You could have threw it out there, but I think you nailed it on the head there. Low ground main, their positioning was very key in almost every single fight that they won there, especially when you go back to that first point. Yeah. They knew that they are always going to try to use that sim teleport to get to point here. They bit on it a little bit here, did punch them only about once, but they end up winning the following fight here. So they know what they're doing, and they're doing it pretty well here. Shoebill Nation, like you said, they definitely got better as that map went on. Gonna have to put it together, though, for our next map here if they want to try to get back in this series.
Yeah, something that I'm a little surprised about is the teams didn't run out up on that Malga composition, but they did favor a Rhine brawl, so maybe we could see that a little more, but that could also get targeted going throughout the series. Now, if these teams want to run dive, that could also be an option, but you're looking at the next map pick, that could be anything, Dex, and that's going to decide that composition for both of the teams.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Dive come out there from low ground main, and it looked pretty suffocating to Shoebill Nation, who was trying to run that Rhine the entire time. When we had that Rhine mirror, it was more even across the board there, but you saw as that second point went on, low ground main and that Rhine composition really started to look a little bit better and better every single team fight, while Shoebill Nation kind of stayed around the same kind of point throughout here. So second map, going to be really interesting to see what we get picked here, since it is mid-season. It is map pick, I believe, for Shoebill Nation, so they kind of have to play into their strengths here, but they also have to make sure they're not playing into low ground main strengths as well.
Yeah, they got to pick something that's going to be very important to maybe that could change up the pace of tempo. You want to bring something that's going to high aggress into that back line, taking out those main supports, those flex supports, to where they can't heal the tank anymore. And maybe that's what they just need to do. They need to target focus and call those communicative tactics for them to take points if you are Shoebill Nation. But yeah, it's not over yet. We still got maps to go. Exciting series. But low ground man still running with this one, 1-0. Yeah.
I mean, it does look like we are about to get our second map pick in here in a moment. And remember, these are still first to 3 up until, I think grand finals in mid-season is still a first to 3 here. But I mean, yeah, I believe we're not necessarily following the map order we have. I believe it is loser can pick any map here. it looks like.
Oh, interesting.
I think it is. I think it is. It looks like the teams are talking about that right now here. But I mean, Pred was an interesting player to watch there for low ground main, that entire first map. I think that double pulse bomb kill they got on Market was something that kind of turned that entire point around for them, because if they don't get that there, they're already down 2 members. You just use a very powerful ultimate. You kind of have to completely back off and let Shoebill Nation kind of take the point there for free, but they get that double kill and you immediately see them kind of turn around. And from that moment there, it seemed like low ground main pretty much had that point in their control. And I mean, Shoebill Nation, they were just kind of trying to find any little mistake, but low ground main never gave it to them.
Yeah, Pred was especially unique there. The positioning tactics, every little communicating part with Pred worked so successfully that if you're low ground main, you're looking at this up in the long run. If Pred keeps on dominating like this, where they can catch these, enemies up on the opposition outside these corners, taking these angles, Pred could just get those initials and take low ground main in situations where low ground main wins those situations. So it's something to watch for. Can Pred keep on doing what they are doing, or can the other DPS, which is a great over up on the side of Shoebill Nation, can they step up? Because I know the competition is very, I'd probably say 50-50 at the point. It's something.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you. There's a part of me that really kind of wanted to see Shoebill Nation get off the Symmetra there, even as someone who is a self-proclaimed sim main. I feel like as that map kind of went on, he was starting to lose a little bit of value with her, and especially with Control Center, in my opinion, not necessarily being her best map. Maybe swapping off to something a little bit different would have helped the team out a little bit more there. But I mean, we saw a couple close fights there from Shoebill Nation to low ground main, especially as that second point kind of went on. But as it went on, we saw a little bit of difference here. But it looks like we know what our second map of the night will be, and yeah, it's loser picks map and mode here. Naya, we're heading to Surabasa here.
I can see Malga here. I feel like the teams have read it over the weekend. Maybe they want to ban out Rhine or Winston, something that the teams did run that first map, but is it going to matter? Surabasa is a great map for brawl variants, but you also get to see a little bit of different fixtures up in that, so can it be the brawl? Yes, maybe. But Shoebill Nation, they gotta pick a great band here. They're under that point. They need a point to tie. So if you are Shoebill Nation, maybe just target that tank role. Take out that main role star up on the other side of low ground main to have more pressure on the side of low ground main.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but it's gonna be difficult to kind of pick a tank now, because you saw the tank there for low ground main find a lot of success playing 2 different tanks. I mean, they were just doing, Zebra Cookie was doing very good, whether it was on the Rhine or whether it was on the Winston. It's gonna be hard to kind of ban out one, even though you did talk about this map being a little bit more of a brawly map. I could see them going after a DPS character here, maybe something like Tracer, force Pred off of it here, force them onto some other character that maybe is a little bit more recognizable or noticeable when they're in that backline.
Yeah, and let's see what happens here. Shoebill Nation are gonna be choosing Chunker Queen,
Chunk.
so taking out a little bit of a rush comp. That's pretty interesting. Now, the thing though that's going to be intriguing to watch here is low ground main is now going to be picking our next ban here, and if you are them, Dex, I gotta say maybe try and target a DPS. Take out the pressure that could happen up on Surabasa. Maybe Sojourn could get picked here. I know Sojourn is great for angling. We could just see a support pick here, but seeing how the team played, I feel like it's going to be damage.
I mean, I could see it being damage as well here, but we could also see a support. I mean, they did play a little bit of a different support line than that of what Shoebill Nation played. So you could try to ban out something else here. I mean, Shoebill Nation, they did try to play both played Junos, but they did both. I mean, they only did play Lucio. So you try to ban out Lucio here. In a map like this, Lucio could be very, very strong. If you're looking at the DPS side, though, like, it's going to be very interesting to see who you're going to be going after if you're low ground main, because I mean, they played a variety of heroes outside of one being, oh, they're actually banning out the Sim here.
Sim. Okay, so you're taking out TPs, you're taking out Sim turrets. I gotta say, Sim's a little broken with the beam. If the beam's like high powered, right, it just like shreds through like any enemy there is. So I guess this is a good choice from low ground main, but is it gonna stand against what Shoebill Nation is trying to cook here on this next map, which is gonna be that Saravasa? Can they get their point here? I hope they do, right? We don't want to get to see a 3-0 Overwatch up on cast, but this is competition. Both teams coming up in with great records, great win-loss map records. Yeah, I mean, they have stuff to stand for. But if you are Shoebill Nation, you need this point.
Yeah, you definitely need this one here. You don't want to let the series get too far away. You also don't want to be staring down the barrel of, like you said, a 3 Overwatch here. But I mean, I'm still going back to that Sim ban here for low ground main. We did see, I believe it was Lovesane play that Sim the entire first map. But I mean, they talk about not necessarily really playing Sim a lot. They say that their most played hero is that Soj, so maybe banning out something like that. And while Sim might be strong, I don't necessarily think Sim is good on Flashpoint maps. I think the points are a little bit too big for a lot of the turrets to find values. TP strats, yeah, you can use them, but I mean, everyone kind of knows you're going to end up going here. So the Sim ban here, in my opinion, kind of feels like they want to force Lovesane off the Sim onto something else to see kind of maybe if they're stuck playing Sim or if they are better with any other hero.
Yeah, it's a bit confusing for the Symmetra ban. In my opinion and in my eyes here, Dex, I feel like both of the teams, though, with these bans, maybe they're just savoring a ban for these, final last seconds of the series where they could target a significant pick from one of the team's players that just dominate possibly up on this Saravasa map. Now, you need Shoebill Nation to get a point to tie up the series. Can they do it? Yes, they can. They just need to over-dominate the low-ground main team, which they looked pretty great. And if you are Shoebill Nation, though, you need to be coming out of this one with that aggression pace, right? If you don't aggress the opposition or the backline, you're going to be up in a tough spot, and it's going to be a rough ride.
Yeah, it's going to be a really rough ride here. But, I mean, low ground main, they looked really good on that first map. Only really had, like I said, they struggled a little bit at the start of that second point. Shoebill Nation, I think they really have to try to lock in here a little bit, whether it be at that tank battle, because it definitely did seem when Shoebill Nation's tank of Simple Math was kind of winning that Rhine duel, they were also just winning a lot of the fights there. Once that Rhine duel kind of started to even out there, that's when you saw low ground main slowly claw their way back in to that map right there and eventually win it. So, I mean, we always kind of talk about tank battles here being very, very important since there's only one. But that's going to be something as the night goes on that we kind of have to watch there. Can Simple Math kind of even out against Zebra Cookie on the other side here? Because I think if that battle stays pretty even, it's going to be even between both teams. If you start to see one tank kind of, win a fight for their team here and there, and it's going to start to slowly pull away. Actually,
yeah,
we're going to Blizzard World. Never mind.
So yeah, Blizzard World, as you just said, I thought it was going to be Saravasa, but teams like to mix it up, I guess, right?
I think it's something where, yeah. So it's the map and mode pick is in postseason, is in the end of season playoffs. Mid-season playoffs, it is still set up like regular season, but I believe the loser does get to pick the map, not the mode though. The modes are set in stone. So you know what that means, Naya? I think we're going to go through another ban phase here.
Yeah, another ban phase could just be correct for both of the teams. Maybe they could think over what they could ban up on Blizzard World. Now, talking about Blizzard World though, Dex, that could bring poke variant. That could also bring that, flyer stage up in dives, but as well, you could see brawl happen. It's gonna be something to watch, I'd probably say, for Shoebill Nation. They still need this point. But yeah, if you are low ground main, and if you do want to take more points up in the series, maybe do what you did with the ban of, Saravasa, where they target that. But yeah, if you're Shoebill Nation, now you gotta think straight, right? You gotta think of something else.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll go your way.
I think if you're Shoebill Nation here, you have to pivot, ban out the Winston here first, and then if you're low ground main, you might honestly just stick with the Sim. But I mean, we're gonna get the bans here in a moment. But I mean, if you're Shoebill Nation, I really think you should go after a tank here. I feel like that's probably the smart thing to do. Make sure that you can at least try to limit what Zebra Cookie is able to do, especially since we saw him play a very, very good Winston and then a very good Ryan, which I think this map kind of leads into dive first 2 points, then brawl that last point. But no, they don't decide to go after a tank here. Shoebill Nation going after the Genji instead, and low ground main on the other side going after a Brig.
This is interesting. Up in that dive composition, we get to see Brig Ana happen, but as well, taking Genji out of the scene, we don't get to see any more of those nano blades happen. So I gotta say, if you are Shoebill Nation, this was a great pick. But as well, if you're low ground main taking out the Brig for that main support spot, this is gonna shift everything for the main support, but as well as that DPS. So can they stick to that composition of dive, or will they run something else?
I mean, I think if you're low ground main, you stick with the dive here. Like I said, the first 2 points, I would consider a little bit more dive maps. Third point goes into brawl. Yeah, you can still play dive, especially if you have the momentum. But if you're the defensive side, you have to play smart here. You either have to play counter dive, or you just have to play a very standard defense. Whether that be with something like a Sigma here, which I could see finding a lot of value on these first 2 points, playing a little bit of a poke comp if you're a defensive team just trying to hold that high ground. But I mean, as we load in here, we're gonna get an idea of what these two teams are really thinking here, Naya.
Yeah, let's see what happens. We got low ground main sitting up with 1 point at the moment, but Shoebill Nation in need of a dire point. They don't want to get that at a match point ratio. But as we can see, a little bit of a Jaws moment happening with the shark cam. We did get to talk about was it a fish cam, Dex, before the stream?
I don't know what the hell fish cam is. Like, someone said fish cam upon thee, and I don't know what it means, and no one wants to tell me. So I'm just going to let it go. But, I mean, it looks like we're seeing a Winston come out here first for the defensive side, and I would believe that has to be low ground main going to be starting off on the defensive side first.
Yeah, and both teams looking at it, they're going to be running that dive composition. But something that's going to be scary is how these tanks play. Will they dive the back line and take out and charade possibly back and forth where they focus them out? It's going to be something to tell. We got low ground main taking on Shoebill Nation in our map 2 of Blizzard World.
I like how the supports for low ground main are playing so far back to make sure they're not going to get caught out by any stray bullets, especially with Lovesane being on the Widow to start here. One good headshot here could immediately get Shoebill Nation right in this map, but you see the dive coming onto them, forcing them to use that grapple to get out. But Zebra Cookie not going to be able to get out themselves there. Shadowy finds the first pick here, and that's exactly what you needed if you're a Shoebill Nation. Now, you just need to find another pick here, and this first point might already be yours.
Yeah, and this is a great way here to forward if you are Shoebill Nation. Now, though, if you are low ground main, maybe just hold back. But look at this. If you are Shadowy, you're going to be able to take looks at this Tracer. So, yeah, if you are Pred, maybe this isn't the justified spot that you want.
I mean, you're able to cause a little bit of a distraction there, leading Zebra Cook to come back in and cleaning up Sunflowers. Shadowy looking a little bit worse for wear as well. Low ground main almost playing that perfectly there. Pred was just enough of a distraction to force Shoebill Nation not to cap 2 ticks right there. And now, instead, it looks like it's just going to be a whole team reset here as, Lovesane ran away from the health pack, and Pred takes them out.
Yeah, and Pred showing us here up on the cast that they could do what they just did. And yeah, low ground main, they're now up in a good spot here. They stopped this Shoebill Nation side of capping it. And you are Shoebill Nation here, Dex. You're coming up on a nano, but as well as a primal. Not just an ultimate yet. But if you're looking at low ground main, I gotta say, if Pred is able to hit a nasty pulse bomb, like Pred is setting up right now as we get to see, but 92%, I wouldn't be surprised if we were to get to see a pulse.
Well, there goes the Nano for Daydream as they are taken out by a railgun shot. Zebra finds Love saying, and man, this fight is probably all but over at this moment here. You see Sunflower kind of sneaking around in the back line, but Simple Math gonna die the same way Daydream did right there. A railgun through the skull.
Yeah, for sure. And now you're looking at low ground main in still a great position. Shoebill Nation, but something to say about this Shoebill Nation side is that Shoe is going to have an ultimate of a Nano. So maybe you can pop that with the Primal or possibly get that up onto a DPS. But look at this. Your Simple Math, maybe just put that aggro into the backline of low ground main.
I was going to say, Sunflower's been kind of just hiding in that backline for the longest time. Going to be able to find Saucer, but there will be really no big follow-up on it right there as you lose both Love Sane and Sunflower. That DPS line, Daydream out as well, and it's going to be yet another reset here for Shoebill Nation as that support line falls. Kind, though, going to get knocked off the map there by the Primal Rage. And Simple Math, you can find one more here. You're going to really help your team out getting back in this one here. So there's only a minute left. Zet Teriyaki going to be able to escape, but Simple Math, on the other hand, not going to be able to.
Oh, yeah. So Simple losing that one there to Zebra. But look at Zebra, right? Zebra's ready to go with the Primal. But Saucer doesn't have this Nano. But if you are low ground main, you are set with ultimates here, Dex. They could do 4 different things if they wanted to. Fred could get up into that backline, focus out Daydream to not pop that Nano, right? Because I know for sure if you are Shoebill, you need to pop that Nano to cap this objective.
Yeah, that Nano almost needs to be popped right now. They did get 2 ticks, so they at least have that going their way, but Pulse Bomb not going to find a stick this time around, and Pred! Oh no, Fred, that's not how you want to get this point going. Simple Math finds Zet Teriyaki there. And I mean, they pop the overclock. Is it going to be enough here to kind of flip this point back in their favor? The anti-thrown on the Simple Math will be able to find them yet again. Where's a touch now from Shoebill Nation? There it is, coming out there from Love saying they're about to have their overclock shadowy pops the Kitsune Rush right now. So Shoebill Nation, they see their chance. The overclock now out from Love saying with that Kitsune Rush to boot. You see how scary this is at the moment. Zebra Cookie doing enough here to stall out the point, but someone from Shoebill needs to be touching. That overtime wick was starting to go down, but it looks like Shoebill Nation gonna be almost able to cap up this point here, 99.8%, but oh, it all falls apart at the end here unless they can just force any one of low ground main off. Find Simple Math, and 99.8% is all you get. And Naya, I'm gonna be honest, when Pred took themselves out with their own pulse bomb, I thought that was gonna really help Shoebill Nation win that point there.
Yeah, and you know, Shoebill Nation had something going for them. They had Daydreams and Nano where they could have possibly progressed up on this low ground main side, but it wasn't what we wanted to see, unfortunately. Shoebill Nation sitting at a 99.8%. You were 0.2% away, Dex. If you are Shoebill Nation, you could have had it, but low ground main just good up on the defense. I would probably say they stopped them, and now this is a great way to execute this Shoebill Nation side. But yeah, if you are Shoebill Nation, looking at how you played that first, it was a little slow. Did for opportunities, and the opportunities that wanted to be taken were read by the low ground main side. So if you are Shoebill Nation, you got to play a lot more quicker here. Your awareness needs to be on point. But if you are low ground main, this is a perfect opportunity to take another point against this Shoebill Nation side.
Yeah, but I also think plays coming from kind of really did slow him down, because Daydream was holding on to that Nano there for about the last 2 minutes of that point, but Kind always seemed to find them out just before Shoebill Nation could really get anything going, forcing them to fall back. But Kind now on the Widow, looking for any head here, and just like Love saying last round, any headshot here early on will go a long way on this first point.
Yeah, maybe kind cannot be kind at all for the side of low grounds, but if you are low ground, yeah, you did just talk about if kind does get this initial, this could be massive for the side, and kind able to get it.
There goes a lot of that pressure from the Ash, the Dynamite, the Coach Gun out. You immediately see Zebra Cookie just go diving into that backline. Now, though, I mean, it doesn't seem like Shoebill Nation knows there's a Diva on their supports. The sleep comes out, not going to be able to find anyone. Sunflower, Daydream, taken out of the engagement. Simple Math is here, but Kind, again, going to be able to shut down that support line. And, I mean, with this pick right here and maybe one more on the Love Stain, that might just do it for this map.
Yeah, looking at how Shoebill played that, they were a lack of awareness there. They did have 4 players, but it just fell apart when Zebra Cookie was able to focus. But look at that, Sojourn touching Love Stain.
Love Stain got 2 right there. Shoebill Nation somehow right back into this map here now. All they have to do is maybe just get one more pick here. Kind trying to do their best to get rid of Sunflower. You see Simple Math back on the ball, and they have forced low ground main back here for the moment. They are back in this one. They get that tick to go all the way down. They find Kind, and now, I mean, I thought this was a done deal, but Shoebill Nation just did everything in their power right there to keep this point alive and this map alive.
Yeah, and what a way to turn this one back. But if you are Zebra
Bomb
Cookie, you
now
could
ready
just
here
stop
for
this.
Zebra. Nano thrown out here on the Zebra Cookie. You will lose Pred, but you are able to trade out Daydream, and now you're just seeing Shoebill Nation go back and forth to trying to find touches. Zebra Cookie trying to do whatever they can to get rid of Sunflower here, and yeah, push them into a corner will do just that. The turret, they're going to be able to find Kind here, and Simple Math will find Saucer, but I think if you're low ground main, you have to fall back and just regroup here.
Yeah, and this is pretty interesting now. You know, we just got to see that little reverse situation happen where one of the sides definitely came back, and they are definitely fighting if you are Shoebill Nation. And now you're setting up with this Nano. You have Simple coming up with the, mines ready to go. But if Love Stain could get a nasty pulse bomb, it could just change the story.
Shadowy gonna fall out first, but you see that pod drop out there on the Pred. So an equal trade across the board here, but you would really love to have that other support back if you're Shoebill Nation. Bomb coming out now from Zebra Cookie, not gonna be able to find anyone, but they will get back into the mech here. And Shoebill Nation, I mean, they've been able to whittle his time back down to a minute here, but Zebra Cookie able to eat Love Stain's pulse bomb right there, but a minute left on the clock for low ground main, and you are honestly looking at a reset here, but Sunflower falls. The beat coming out from Shadowy, not gonna be able to keep him alive. You do trade out Zet Teriyaki on the other side. Visor coming out from Pred, struggling to find any value at the moment. The mine from Simple Math spread across the point, but yet low ground main still finding members out. Simple Math gonna be able to find Saucer. Kind though popping off on the Tracer. If it was Pred's map last map, it has been Kind's map this time around, and low ground main will take it as Simple Math just not able to get there in time. Low ground main, one map win away from moving on to the grand finals here in the NA Masters tier.
Yeah, and they have been doing a great job here, Dex. Controlling this Shoebill Nation side, executing up on those mistakes that, Shoebill Nation are making here. I feel like, though, if you are Shoebill, I did say it before, they gonna play quicker up in these tactic-based compositions. Was it a good start for Shoebill Nation there? Yeah, but they needed to execute much more faster here if they wanted to get more off the side of low ground main. So heading up into these next maps, Shoebill Nation, to get points over this low ground main side, they gotta do everything that they can, because low ground main is sitting at that match point.
Yeah, sitting at match point, and I mean, this last point here, this map here of Blizzard World, I mean, Shoebill Nation 0.2% away from capping that first point. I mean, that gives them a little bit more time. They could have got a little bit distant push on that cart. We might be looking at a different story here, but this defensive hold from them was really impressive for as long as it lasted, when I thought it really wasn't going to make it long at all. You have to give Shoebill Nation a lot of credit for that, but low ground main, that time they had here just to cap that final tick was all they really needed to just get going. And that was a couple ult cycles and hero swaps as well, but they made the right swaps. Everything ended up working out for them in the end, putting them on to series point.
Yeah, and so let's see what Shoebill Nation can do against this low ground main side after the break, which is going to be coming up here shortly, but we will be finding an answer to the winner and the decider of this match. Will it be low ground main, or will it be Shoebill Nation here, Dex? We will wait and see. We will see you guys right after this short break.
All right, welcome back, everyone, from the halftime break right there. 2-0 in favor of Low Ground Maine, but the scoreline might not show you how close these maps have really been. Shoebill Nation maybe 1 or 2 fights away from having this be a tied series up here, but Low Ground Maine handling business. Now on, I believe it is their 13 straight map victory, looking for number 14 with this one here, if they are able to close out this series in our third map of the night. And it's been very, very close, but it looks like Shoebill Nation has decided where we're going to be heading for our third and potential final map. We're going to be heading north of the border here to Canada for New Queen Street.
Yeah, New Queen Street. So this is going to be different variants of bands coming out, but as well, different compositions from both of the sides. Maybe we could see a little more of that brawl come out from both. But if you are Shoebill Nation, You need something to work here. You need to answer up on these complex situations that we found you guys throughout this scenario. Shoebill Nation is in need of these points dire, and if they don't get them, it's going to be a bad look for them. But you look at low ground main, they have been over, complicating this side of Shoebill Nation. They've been reading this side of Shoe, and anytime in those scenarios, Shoe makes a mistake, low ground main is the one to answer. So, can low ground main keep that up, or can Shoebill Nation come back with a different twist in mind and shake up the series?
Yeah, absolutely. But one thing we kind of talked about after the first map there for Logo Main was their positioning really being a key factor in how they were winning a lot of these fights here. And that's kind of what helped them on that defensive round there against Shoebill Nation's attack. The positioning and just being able to find members of Shoebill Nation out very early really led to Logo Main holding on to that first point there at that 99.8%. They were so close to capping it here. But Shoebill Nation, they get our first ban this time around. Do they go after support this time, or do you try to go after a tank here? Because that Winston, I mean, it has caused you problems now a decent amount on 2 straight maps.
We're getting picks here, but as well as like how you did just say, a tank could be that option, but you look at what the support backlines could do to sustain their tanks and their DPS. Maybe taking out a Juno or possibly a Kiri here could be a good option, but I could also see the doubts of popping possibly that BAP or that Ana up in this scenario. But looking at the tank scenario, that could be a possible situation where they can answer up on that.
Yeah, I could see a support coming out here, but I really think you want to try to force Zebra Cookie off the Winston here. But no, they're going to be going after the Ana instead. So, I mean, we've been seeing a decent amount of Ana play here from low ground main. Not necessarily a shock to see it, but at the same time, we've been seeing a lot of Ana from Shoebill Nation. So, I mean, we're going to be going deep into the hero pools here now for both sides.
Yeah, and here we go. We're going to be able to get to see low ground main pick their band. You have a choice of damage or tank, and seeing how this has been going, low ground main has been over the side of Shoebill Nation, and they're setting a very good pace, right? So I really don't think they need to worry with a ban here. Maybe just throw out something that is going to cause havoc or devastation up on the side of Shoebill, possibly taking out a damage, or the scenario of focusing a tank. If you take out a tank here, that could cause panic out of the wazoo for that Shoebill Nation side. So let's see what happens here, Dex. I'm going to say tank. What are you going to say?
I would be thinking tank too, because while you're contact going into map 2, that tank battle was probably the most interesting thing. And when we saw it be pretty even, it was mostly Shoebill Nation winning a lot of the fights. But the tank battle that last map was really one-sided towards low ground main. But low ground main going to be going with the Torb ban here. I mean, I guess it makes sense heading into New Queen Street. The sticky turret does find a lot more value here. Yeah. Yeah, but like I said, sticky turret does find a little bit more value here. You can throw it up on walls, and the biggest problem with a lot of Overwatch players is that you just don't normally look up that often, especially at walls you never need to, in the past, up until about a week ago.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you here. But something that's going to be said is, will low ground main do us another 3-0 up on this broadcast here, Dex? Or can Shoebill Nation shoot their way back up into it? Yeah. I could see Shoe getting back up in. It just depends if they bring that aggression, like how I've been saying throughout the series. That's something that they need to, step on, right? They got to bring it into that pace, because if they don't, you're going to look at those scenarios that exactly happened to them, which aren't good looks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we already had 1-3-0 over on our A stream, or CGL1, where it was Caught a Puddle beating Emmy Abyssal 3-0. We could be looking at our second 3-0 of the night here at the moment, if it does go the way of low ground main. But coming out of the gate for the first time, Naya, we are seeing the Samoan out, and we kind of thought we would see it a little bit sooner, but I mean, better late than never, I guess.
Oh, I like this choice here. Simple, able to get up on the Malga. That's something that we got to see all weekend with the pro advanced teams up in Overwatch Esports. So, yeah, if you were Shoebill Nation, maybe you could just put yourself back up in a scenario of possibly taking a map against the low ground main.
Yeah, and you see low ground main, they're all just trying to run away right now from Simple Math, but Saucer going to get stunned out there. Sunflower going to be able to clean them up. And I imagine right now, if you're low ground main, especially if you lose this fight pretty early on here, you're starting to push the barrier a little bit, but you might be looking at immediate swaps here, and you already see that from Saucer. I imagine Zebra Cookie is going to follow.
Yeah, and let's see what happens here. If you are low ground main, now you gotta run with something else, right? So you're looking at a Zarya, Soldier, Kiri, Juno, and Soj composition against the Malga comp that we've been getting to see all weekend. I gotta say, you might just be set if you are Shoebill Nation. You have those heroes to take on that Zarya composition, but let's just see what happens here.
I mean, we almost just saw it right there. Simple Math got burnt down to 90 health from that 725 they have. Kind finds Daydream. Zebra Cookie already finding 2. And you look at that charge already on the Czar just out of the gate. Already above 80 for the majority of that fight. And now low ground main back in control. If you're Shoebill here, do you consider making swaps of your own now?
I don't know. I feel like if you are Shoebill Nation, this could definitely still work here with, the composition that you're heading up into, but you need to play aggressive. If you don't take out the back line, you're going to look at a scenario where low ground main is going to capitalize off of that. Both the teams working with Juno, but Zarya aggressing.
Love saying already finding Pred out there early on should really help out Shoebill Nation here, but it's going to be Kind coming right back, getting rid of Simple Math. Shadowy the next one to fall, and you already see Shoebill Nation here just trying to quickly retreat so they're not staggering out anyone else. The right clicks coming out, they're trying to find Daydream from Zebra Cookie. Not going to be able to do that right there, but it should be low ground main taking the lead here. Sunflower, though, trying to get a little bit damage, but Zebra Cookie, is going for blood here. They're actually in the back line right now. They find Daydream, but they will lose those themselves there a little bit.
Yeah, love saying able to get that answer up onto Zebra here. You're looking at a low ground main, though, in a good scenario. And look at this. Kind could possibly... Oh, that's so unfortunate.
Unfortunate to deflect right back into them, and they were looking really good there. I mean, you got rid of Simple Math again very early there. That's I think about the second or third fight in a row where Simple Math has been the first one to really die out for Shoebill Nation. But I mean, look, Shoebill Nation is going to be able to take the lead, and they have a lot of ultimates.
Yeah, and this is something that they need to capitalize up on here. We didn't get to see a lot out of Shoebill Nation with the communication. It needs to be dire here. Can they find an answer? This is something that we want to see, and Sunflower able to get that initial.
Yeah, finding 2 right there. Grab coming out from Zebra Cookie. They will be able to find 2 of their own, immediately trading it right back here. There's number 3 for Zebra Cookie. Sunflower finds their 3rd as well. A lot more help here, though, from Simple Math on their side. As you see Zebra Cookie just trying to go after Sunflower. But Zebra Cookie end up taking themselves out there as Shoebill Nation gets those forward spawns there with capping that first point.
It's kind of like the pulse bomb, play, right? Taking yourself out, but Shoebill Nation, you're still sitting at a good percentage with the Mirage. Can you set up with this cage? Yes, you just need to be careful though. The ground main can take this pressure off of you, and yeah, I mean, cage fight is going to be popped, and I love this decision.
Yeah, I love it as well, and they immediately get rid of it once they get rid of Zebra Cookie because they can just go right into that backline. You see low ground main making some more swaps, but they're seeming like they're not going to necessarily work out in the early couple fights here. They're going to have to wait a fight or two, but you still see Shoebill Nation here with that 1 over ultimate ready to go.
And if low ground main does swap to different heroes, they're going to have to work with different perks and recharge those perks up. So maybe it's not the smartest of things to say for low ground main, but look at that. Love seeing able to get Pred. Yeah, Shoebill Nation might just be set up very, very good here.
you lose Zet Teriyaki out as well. There's the overclock coming out from Lubsane, and hey, we were waiting for Shoebill Nation to kind of come alive in this series, and they have come alive here. 2 kills right there for the overclock. Zebra Cookie will be able to shut down Lubsane, but right back at them with Simple Math, and now rounding the home stretch here, low ground main. That time bank only about halfway through, still does have a lot of time, but they're running out of fights.
And looking at it, low ground is playing the low ground, and Shoebill Nation is up on that high. But Shoebill Nation setting themselves up very good here. This is something that we really didn't get to see much out of the series by far. They are communicating so well against this low ground main side. Can it keep working though?
Fred, first one to fall yet again this fight, followed by Zeta Teriyaki. We're seeing the exact same thing that happened last fight here. The grab, though, coming out from Zebra Cookie needs to be able to get rid of Simple Math, and eventually it will with some help there from Kind. Finally, you're seeing a team fight go the way of low ground main, and this is one they desperately needed, because one more fight going Shoebill way there, it would have been map.
Yeah, and you look at what Shoebill Nation is coming back with. You have Daydream with that orbital, but as well, Sunflower, if you speed ring in, right, if Daydream does communicate that whip, that could be devastation on the side of low ground main. But you look at Kind, which Kind could hit some nasty shots with that ultimate, of which they have. But let's see how they do it. It's going to be popped.
EMP out there from Pred, overclock as well with the Kitsune Rush, and you are seeing low ground main throwing every ultimate they had into this fight, and hey, they're going to end up winning it because of it right there. Spawns have reset. It's going to be a team kill here for them. One they desperately needed again, but they are still staring down the barrel of about an 75, 76 meter deficit.
Still looking at this, Shoebill Nation is going to be in a great position against this low ground main side. Low ground main did just use a lot of ultimates there, but they're only gonna have that orbital ray coming up. Now that's gonna be interesting to see, but look at this, Sunflower able to get one up onto Zeta.
But you immediately lose Simple Math right back. Daydream, though, going to be able to get rid of that support line there for low ground main. You lose Zebra Cookie out as well. Pred and Kind doing a lot here. And, I mean, they've done a lot so far this series, but they need to find this kill right here, but they're not going to be able to. Both those CPS players just dive ducking out of the way of almost every shot right there. But low ground main, they do have those forward spawns in their control.
Yeah, and it was so close of a fight there up in the room, but Shoebill Nation still looking strong here. They're going to push this one back onto low ground main, and you got to be careful, though, especially when you get caged.
But that orbital ray coming into Zebra Cookie right at the right time right there, going to be able to keep them alive throughout the majority of this, as well as that bot just kind of standing there acting as a shield. But you see it right there as the cage goes away, and same thing with that orbital ray. So does everyone for low ground main. Shoebill Nation back in control, and they have reset the spawns.
So looking at the ultimate economy, if you are Shoebill Nation, you're going to have 2 ultimates against this low ground main side, which they are charging up these ults. They could have 2 or 4. 2 is going to be more likely to where they can pop these 2 against Shoebill, but is low ground main going to take these opportunities against the Shoebill side? They need to immediately. They only got 2 minutes, but look at this Lubsane.
Grab comes out from Zebra Cookie, but the beat coming out from Shadow, we gotta be able to allow Zebra Cookie or Lubsane to find Zebra Cookie out right there. And now Shoebill Nation, this is what we've been waiting for. So close to winning this map. You're seeing the desperation swaps come out here from low ground main. Zebra Cookie on that ball right now, gonna stall it up for as long as they can, but it's a 5v1 situation. Salt back out, gonna have to use that Kitsune Rush almost immediately. Kind has to pop that overclock, trying to get rid of Simple Math. Hell, they're trying to find anyone at the moment. Anyone, but there's no one to be found. Daydream finds him out. Zet Teriyaki will be able to find one with kills. It's being traded back and forth right now. Zebra Cookie trying to do what they can on the ball, but these dual chain guns are just a little bit too much. Simple Math takes care of them. It's a cage fight to seal the deal here, and Shoebill Nation, once they get rid of Pred, should be able to extend this series by at least a map.
So, having Shoebill Nation run off upon that Malga composition, now it's going to make low ground main right look at that and say, hey, why not just ban the Malga? That's something that worked for them. Take it out, right? So if they do ban that Malga, it's going to be very different from the side of Shoebill Nation. But it worked so well with that Malga. If they were to keep on running it here, and if it wasn't to be targeted, I could see Shoebill Nation building their way back up into this one very, very easily.
Yeah, but like you said, now they know that Shoebill Nation maybe favors this Malga comp after this map right here. You ban out the Malga, force them back to the tanks they were playing before where they had very mixed success. I mean, this Malga was by far the best Shoebill Nation looked, and low ground main, it seemed like they had a lot of struggles into it themselves. I mean, the Zarya from Zebra Cookie was incredible, but I mean, the Malga has just so much sustain that sometimes even a fully charged Zarya is not enough.
Yeah, and the composition that Shoebill Nation ran was such a great comp. Obviously, you got to see Daydream communicate with those orbital raids, but as well those speed rings to bring Simple in those scenarios to just go in. And Simple was always there, and Simple was making it simple up on the side of Shoebill Nation. This was definitely a great fix for them, but leading up into this next map, you're going to be looking at that Malga probably banned, like how we did just say. But Dex, if you are Shoebill, this is still a good scenario. You got another map to play up in your hands, and it's not like you're getting sent home right away. So there's still a chance for this Shoebill side.
Yeah, very much still a chance for Shoebill. I mean, they looked a lot better, and like we've been saying, that 2-0 scoreline coming out of halftime didn't necessarily tell the whole tale of this series. Shoebill kept it close in a lot of maps, but it was always either the positioning or just large time banks that really helped low ground main in those first two maps. This time, though, I mean, the Malga was just a little bit too much for them. That pace they wanted to go, everyone for Shoebill kind of popped off right there. But I mean, low ground main, they still are one map away from winning this. However, that 13 map win streak is now out the door. You can always start a new one though right now and try to carry it into the grand finals if you do make it there. But Shoebill Nation, they feel like they have a lot more energy now, so we might be seeing a little bit of a different team coming out from them. However, we thought we were going to see this map earlier, Naya, but we will finally see it now. We're heading to Cervasa.
We're back. It's like we took the time machine. We are here once again. Cervasa, and maybe not ban the Malga. Maybe just bring Brawl out of this. We could see Rhine here if they were to ban it, possibly Ram, but I don't see Dive getting favored here against both of the teams. Dex, it's going to be something to watch. I still feel like it's going to be that Malga overall. That's something that was dominated from the last map, and if you are low ground main, maybe just try and match it.
Yeah, I mean, low ground main gets the first ban here, and I'm with you. You kind of have to ban out the Malga. It makes no sense not to ban him out this map and say, you know, we're going to hold it for map 5. Just get him out now, because if you guys, I personally think if you get rid of the Malga, we have seen it where the tank play for low ground main has just been a little bit better.
Yeah, I very much agree with you here, and you're going to look at low ground main, which they need to ban out something that's going to be smart, right? Will they make the choice of that Malga tank? It's going to be something to tell here, and yeah, I mean, this was a great ban coming out here from low ground main. They take out a very deadly pick that was chosen up on streets of Toronto. So taking that out, you're looking at a Brawl type map. Maybe you're, Shoebill Nation, you could come back up into this one with your ban.
Yeah, and if you're Shoebill, I mean, what do you think is going to be the right play here? Do you go after DPS? Do you go after a support? I mean, it seems like they've been kind of following an order here. They banned tank, banned damage, banned support last map. I think banning a support here again, forcing low ground main to play a little bit of a backline that they're maybe uncomfortable with might be the play here. But if you go after a damage character, I mean, Tracer is still sitting there, and we have seen both DPS players for low ground main absolutely pop off on her.
I could also see Sojourn getting picked here if that was a choice, maybe even an Echo. But looking at the support line, how you did just say, Lucio could be chosen if they wanted to go fast. Kiri as well. Bap I could see getting banned here. But yeah, it's going to be something to see. Will it be a damage or support? I still have my eyes on support. Maybe it will be the support, or maybe I'll be wrong. I don't know. But yeah, it's going to be that support here, Dex. So interesting choices from both of the teams, but I like the choices. You're taking out that Malga composition.
Yeah, I think low ground main made the right choice with their ban. I think Shoebill Nation, like you said, this is a great ban out from them as well. Both teams have been using Juno a lot, but it seems like low ground main, especially that last map, had those orbital rays come in at the right times to really help them through a couple of fights, maybe keep them alive when some ultimates came out. But once it went away, you saw the entirety of low ground main kind of die after it here. So banning out the Juno very early on, or banning out the Juno here, I think is the right play for Shoebill Nation, because it seems like we've kind of seen low ground main get comfortable with that back line here a little bit. Disrupting them these last two maps has definitely thrown a little bit of a wrench into their plans.
Yeah, both teams still running out with their starter lines, and yeah, if you are Shoebill Nation, this is gonna be tough. You had Malga get banned here, so you can't play the hero that you just dominated up on. But hey, we got a fantastic map. We got Cervasa next, and you know, as you did quote, we were here before, but hey, we traveled. We took that time machine. We're back.
Pigeons.
Pigeons, yeah. I love
this
pigeons.
map. Everyone loves pigeons. Some of the biggest cheers you will get at live events will be for the pigeons, and I feel like that's really, really funny here. But coming out of the gate, Malga banned Zarya for both sides. That's fun.
Okay. Wait, now I could see this still going ways for Shoebill, because you're trying to match a composition, so both teams need to play this very smartly. If you underestimate the team here that you're playing against, it's going to be bad looks for you. So both of them need to be up on tempo with each other. If you see one fall, it's going to be more likely that the other team's going to win.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see which way each team goes here. Looks like they're just gonna go straight to point right now, but Shoebill Nation gonna have a little bit of advantage by getting there first. Low ground main seemed like they were kind of hesitant on going that way. Sunflower on this Reaper though is gonna be a little bit of a problem here if they're able to get, you know, just those off angles and land those shots. But you see simple math, those bubbles are already bursted out. They're gonna be able to find Kind though. Daydream gonna be followed up at Saucer coming in with that boop to get rid of simple math. Yeah, Shoebill Nation caps the point here first, but they won't win this fight.
Yeah, Shoebill getting those picks, but as you did just say, they are not going to be able to win. And low ground main, you're sitting with that cap, and you get the pick with Pred up on the Love Stain, so Love Stain's out. If you're Shoebill, now you need to regroup, and low ground main, you have great positioning over this Shoebill Nation side. You could go weather way, 1 or 2.
Yeah, and look at Zebra Cookie's charge right now. It was at 100% there for a moment. Still gonna be incredibly highly charged when Shoebill Nation engages here. 100%. The damage coming out from the Zarya right now is something you do not want to be in front of. Hell, even those right clicks are gonna be doing a lot here. Sunflower though, TPing into the backline. They're gonna have to try to get out, but now no Wraith form around. Pred trying to get rid of them, but oh no!
Interesting
Did
choice.
their own Lucio just booped them into them. Sunflower with 2 here, and it was looking like a good start for low ground main, but a couple of unfortunate plays coming out there will lead Shoebill Nation to taking control of the point yet again. But 84% there for low ground main is nothing to scoff at.
So this is now likely for Shoebill Nation to build back up in. You're looking at that support economy where you're going to have 2 ultimates, right? And maybe Sunflower could also pop that Reaper Blossom anytime soon. But yeah, low ground main could definitely just get back up in this one with the Graviton, I'd probably say.
Opportunity though coming out here from Shoebill Nation here early on. Simple Math finds Saucer, and Naya, I'm gonna be honest with you, that might be a done deal for this fight here. You don't see low ground main even going in. They're just gonna kind of fall back here a little bit, but the grab comes out. There's the Consuming Rush out from the outside. Beat though from Shadow, gonna be able to just propel their team to a victory. Maybe they should have fallen back there. Simple Math though did invest their own grab, but it looks like Shoebill Nation will be taking our first point here.
Yeah, a little rough here from up the sides of the low ground main. Now you're looking at Saucer, which is going to have the environmental, right? But B-Matrix is very nice to have against this Shoebill side, which you have Love Stain and Sunflower, both DPS ultimates, which could just be popped here off of positioning in corners. If you're Love Stain, and if you want to take more aggression pressure off the side of low ground main, maybe just pop it and have the point for yourselves here if you are Shoebill. But oh, Dex, that is something.
Yeah, that's not who you want to see fall first, and that's definitely not who you want to see fall second. Saucer finding 2 very early picks here, but you see that Death Blossom about to come up here. Maybe Lovesane will find one. The overclock now coming out from them might be all they really need here, but it will be only 1 pick that they get before they get traded out. Kind finds the final 2 picks here. Low ground main going to be able to cap the point here first this time around.
Yeah, and Lovesane did pop their ultimate. Sunflower still sitting with that Blossom ready to go. That's the only ultimate that Shoebill Nation has. But yeah, if you are low ground main, you have yourselves with 3 ultimates, right? You can set yourselves up in these situations to overcome the Shoebill Nation side. But I wonder what they're gonna do, especially against Sunflower's Blossom. That could be a lot of damage.
Well, how about every ultimate coming out from the other side right there for low ground main? Already finding 1. Should be able to find 2 here. Has to use that deflect shadow. We gotta be able to escape here for the moment. But Saucer, who's been absolutely scary on this Lucio, finding that last one right there. So Sunflower still holding on to that Death Blossom here. But it looks like Simple Math might get staggered out here. No, gonna be able to just barely keep themselves alive.
And something to say about this low ground main side, they needed to pop those ultimates to win that scenario fight. If it was Sunflower to get those picks for those initials, it could have turned ways and reversed everything for the side of low ground main. But let's see how Sunflower positions this. Blossom's still ready to go, but Lovesane up on the Pred. Now this changes things.
And I mean, you're seeing the kills come out here from Shoebill Nation. They should be able to clean this up right now. Zet Teriyaki get to invest the Kitsune Rush here. Won't really help their team survive this fight. But you could tell that everyone on low ground main knows that Sunflower has this Blossom ready to go. You saw Zebra Cookie focusing them out there for the longest time, trying to get rid of them very, very early on.
Yeah. Yeah, and Shoebill Nation, they're looking good. Can they build their way back up to this 99% where they could have a 2-0 up in Suravasta over this low ground main side? It's gonna be something to say, but let's see what happens. And this is a little bad, I'd probably say. Oh,
Third straight fight that Sunflower won't be able to use the Death Blossom, but it won't really matter. I mean, you use Kitsune Rush there, you win the fight off that. Yeah, you lose Sunflower, but low ground main still not really building up to any ultimates of their own in that engagement.
I was a little confused from low ground main there. I feel like the positioning just fell apart. They were a little too split, and that's where Shoebill Nation succeeded. And you're looking at Shoebill Nation, which they are set. Oh, look at that, Dex.
Goodbye, Zebra Cookie. We hardly knew thee in that engagement. You used your grab, you made some noise, but I mean, you're just like a car horn. You hear it, you see it go, and that's about it there. Low ground main. I mean, Naya, at this point, we have to start asking ourselves the question, have low ground main completely lost all the momentum in this series?
I think the momentum has shifted after what we got to see from Shoebill Nation. I think they did something very well against the side of low ground main, but look at that pressure. It is so dominant from the side of Shoebill Nation. Lovesane going insane, and yeah, Dex, this might just be able to be their shot back up into the series where they tie it 2-2.
Yeah, and this has been, like I said, Shoebill Nation was very much in a lot of those first fights on Lijiang Tower and our second map as well, but they just weren't able to find the victories here. So far, this entire map and the last map, they were finding victory after victory. And you ban out the Malga coming on this map because you think that's the problem, but you're learning right now, simple math. There's the Death Blossom! It's finally out there from Sunflower. It finds 2. The fight all but over. Lovesane will find Pred, but I mean, but going back to what I was saying, I mean, you get Simple Math off the Malga, you have them play Zarya instead, and I mean, that's been the thing I've been talking about so far. The tank battle has been the most important thing for these two teams. Simple Math has kind of turned it up these last 2 math, and low ground main, Zebra Cookie just hasn't been able to match.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you here. Both of the teams bringing in that tempo with the tanks, but look at this. Fred possibly might just get a pick here for the low ground main, and maybe they will with that forward.
And there goes Zebra Cooking, getting rid of Simple Math, getting rid of Lovesane. Pred finds Sunflower. This point should flip over here, but you see everyone in Shoebill Nation just kind of trying to stall it out as long as they can. Daydream has no one they can TP to, and eventually they'll die climbing.
Yeah, no rock wall climbing, no more for you. But if you are Shoebill Nation, you're still set, right? You're sitting at 84%. And you are up too, up on these Suravasta. So if low ground main does get this one, all you need to do is save up ultimates, I'd probably say.
Oh, saving up ultimates is going to be what Shoebill does here, especially with low ground main investing that Consuming Rush here pretty early on. Simple Math being the first one to fall there. Yeah, they're going to fall back here at the moment. Zed Teriyaki. Zed Teriyaki will find Sunflower. Shadowy does find one, but this fight's pretty much all but over. Shoebill Nation going to reset here and go one more time on this third point.
Yeah, Shoebill Nation, if they wanted to come back with this one, they can. They have that Graviton, they have Kitsune Rush ready to go, Shadowy with that Beat Matrix, 2, 3 ultimates up on the board, but look at that Graviton!
Grab inside of grab,
wow,
Pred. That's a collat if I've ever seen one myself right there. Saucer gets rid of Simple Math, and Pred getting the 4K there. Would have loved the ace, but Saucer coming in with the cleanup. But hey, if you're low ground main, you're happy about that right there. It doesn't matter. You extend this map here, but you really cannot afford to lose, I think, another 2 fights.
Yeah, and now you look at low ground main with that momentum heading up into this sector here. You're looking at Shoebill Nation, though, with these 2 support ultimates against the low ground main, which don't have an ultimate just yet. Kind almost with the Blossom, but Sunflower ready to go with the Blossom. Sunflower could definitely go up on the side of this low ground main side and just pop this one. It's probably going to happen, I'd probably say.
Kit Rush coming out here from Daydream. Shadowy gonna be able to find Pred. The Lucians have been just impressive with their killing skills so far this map. Shoebill Nation gonna be able to get the first point cap here with Pred not in the engagement, and you see low ground main already backing out, so it's gonna be a reset here for the moment.
Yeah, and low ground main, they still have a chance here. They can build their way back up into this one. You're looking at those support ultimates getting charged up, but Kind could do some devastating damage. Shoebill Nation, though, sitting with their ultimate economy 3. But look at that aggression, Kind possibly with it. Oh,
Beat coming
it's
out
not
though,
gonna
gonna be
happen
able
at
to,
all.
but it keeps kind of alive. It keeps kind of alive, that Beat. But now Sunflower pops their own Death Blossom. Pred will be able to take them out. The Beat not gonna be able to save them that time around. Kills being traded out each way at the moment. Zebra Cookie will find Shadowy here. Overclock coming out here from Lovestain as they're desperately looking for anyone they can find. Suzu invested on the Zebra to keep them alive. Now the Kitsune Rush as well as low ground main. This is a fight you need to win, but you're still struggling to clean up these couple of stragglers here from Shoebill Nation. And look, Simple Math kind of going off yet again here.
Simple
Nick picking up their 3rd kill. The grab coming out here. Zebra Cookie very low, but Pred coming back into the engagement. Going to be able to find the kill right there. Simple Math also invest their own grab into that fight here, so no grabs for either side.
Yeah, I was going to say that could have been a bad play, but I did just get to see both of the Zarya's pop, so good choices from both. But now you're looking at Shoebill Nation. Daydream with this Kitsune Rush could just be the factor of them getting back up into the scenario of winning this. But they need to be careful. Low ground main, they're building back. They have that percentage running, and Pred could do the damage that we all want to get to see.
And Pred almost about to have that overclock ready to go. Kitsune Rush coming out from Daydream and Shoebill. They want to play fast, and look, that speed is just something that low ground main has not been able to really handle very decently here in these last 2 maps. Already the team fight is all but over here. Super Cookie not going to get a lot of help here. Zet Teriyaki going to be able to TP to him, but there's going to be no touch coming out there from low ground main. Shoebill Nation 1 map away from the reverse sweep. And Naya, like we kind of talked about, I think low ground main has lost all the momentum they had in this series. I think it is now in the hands of Shoebill Nation.
Yeah, stuff definitely shifted. If I were to say anything, this was a fantastic play, though. Pred able to get the coordination off of the Graviton. That was great. But yeah, looking at this replay, you got to see so much up on the side of Shoebill Nation up in that first half. But stuff is shifting. The tempo up on the side of Shoebill Nation, it was slow at the start of the beginning of the series, I'd probably say, and they are shooting up in this one. This is a different Shoebill Nation team against the low ground main, but hey, I think they're working with that momentum, and I think that's what is getting them far. You know, they had a great performance with that Malga composition up on the streets of Toronto, but here up on Saravasa, they take against the low ground main. They have another great run with the Zarya, but yeah, Shoebill Nation working great with their momentum. They could definitely keep this going for them because they have it. Low ground main, though, up on the other hand, not so much with momentum, so it's going to be a hard wall to face if you are low ground main. Hopefully you don't run up into it, but low ground main, you got to find some answers.
And one thing that Logra Main you can definitely talk about here, we've seen them do it a lot throughout the series here tonight. But when they were winning maps, it wasn't necessarily something we would touch on. But now that they're starting to lose maps, it's their overinvestment of ults into a lot of fights. We will see them have 3 ultimates ready to go, and we're talking about it, and we're thinking about saying, okay, they only really need to use maybe 1 here to try to get that point back in their control. But you see them immediately just dump all 3 at the beginning of an engagement, and it's something that, yeah, they would win the fight, but it puts them so far behind the 8 ball when the next engagement comes. And that's where, Shoebill Nation always seem to be able to find a lot of their value there. Logra Main really just struggled holding on to points on Sarabasa there. And unlike what happened on Lijiang Tower, where once they got control of a point, they really never let it go.
Yeah, this is going to be intriguing to tell. Can Low Ground Main shoot their way back up into this, or can Shoebill Nation pull off this remarkable series coming back for them? It's something to watch. But yeah, Dex, Shoebill Nation, though, they are setting a strong pace. They're working with the momentum, that motivation, coordination, every little thing happening up in their compositions have been working. And Low Ground Main, they're struggling against it. I think, in my eyes, this is a different Shoebill Nation team, and I would be very, very scared if you are Low Ground Main.
Yeah, but if you're Loga Main right now, you're going to have a little bit of a time here to reset your mentals. We're going to throw it to a quick break and then be right back with the penultimate map of this series. Map 5, y'all. We don't get them a lot. You're not going to want to miss it.
I'm not crazy, Malin. I'm not crazy, Malin. I've just been in a very bad mood for 40 years. 40 years.
Carpe diem. Carpe diem.
Let's have a bit of fun till I downfall. My love, if you feel like I do right now, don't say you're on the run.
Well, Shoebill Nation was staring down the barrel of an 0-2 deficit after 2 maps. Well, now everything is reversed. It's 2-2 now. We're heading to a map 5. Our winner take all for a spot in the NA Masters tier mid-season grand finals is on the line in Naya. We talked about during the break here a little bit, and a little bit as well on Sarabasa. The momentum of this series slowly starting to go the way of Shoebill Nation. Low-ground main looked great those first 2 maps, but they've slowly started to fall off here. However, they had choice of map here for our final map being Escort. And we kind of talked about during break. They probably want to bring us back to something a little bit divey. Well, why not bring us to the diviest of all Escort maps of Dorado?
Oh, it's the thing I'd like to call Dorito. Dorito. Yippee. So Dorado, great map for dive compositions, but I wouldn't be surprised if we were to get to see a dive v brawl here. Both of the teams are favoring different compositions heading up into this 5th, but could it be a changing factor for both of the sides to make swaps? Something, though, to say is going to be these bans, and these bans are going to be very, very important for both the sides, hopefully. So, looking at them, Dex, we got tank, damage, and support. We look at the support. There were 4 bans up in the support, right? Damage, you're looking at it with 2. And tank, you're looking at it with 2. So, maybe. I don't know. This is very, very interesting.
This really comes to a spot here where if you're low ground main, maybe you ban out a tank here to protect one. Say like you ban out maybe a Wrecking Ball or a Czar here, so you have that Winston, a character that we have seen Zebra like to play and find a lot of value with, but no, quick to it, not even a minute gone. Banning out Symmetra. Remember, this was their original ban the first time we thought we were going to see Sarabasa.
Okay, so Sim is going to be banned here, but if you are the side of Shoebill Nation, you don't got to worry about it anymore. And Shoebill Nation, maybe just take out a tank and focus up on that favorite composition of what low ground main wants to run. If you're able to do that here, Dex, if you are Shoebill Nation, I think that would be great factors. You're heading up into this one with great momentum. You want to focus and prioritize something very, very important here, and I think it's going to be that tank role.
Yeah, I think you have to go after a tank. I mean, they left the Winston wide open now to be banned out. And if you're Shoebill Nation, I think you go after that one. You really haven't seen them play any other dive tanks for a significant amount of time on any of the maps. I mean, we have seen a little bit of Diva. We have seen a little bit of Wrecking Ball come up, but those were all like very last second situations where they were trying to get back to point. I think this is now when you ban out that Winston. I don't think you're looking at a support ban here. It is definitely a tank ban.
Has to be. I mean, if it's not a tank, and if we're wrong up on desk, it's... Okay, wait. It is a tank, but it's not Winston. Okay, interesting.
This... It's an interesting ban. It's a dive tank. I still feel like you should have gone after the Winston here, but you might be kind of playing in to a little bit of, like, if we don't ban out the Winston and we're able to beat it out, there's not a lot of other dive tanks that low ground main could really go to unless you're gonna go for a Ball or a Doomfist.
I think something to say about this Diva pick though, Dex, is we got to see Blizzard World, and I believe so that it was Zebra that played the Diva up on the side for them. So maybe taking this out could be better looks for the side of Shoebill Nation, where they can have a unique composition against this. But taking out the Diva, that's going to be interesting for them. Maybe as run the Winston comp. I wouldn't be surprised if we were able to see that here. Dive is very important, but Dorado is Dorado. But Dorado is also Dorito.
And now you're looking back at low ground main's ban out here. I mean, I understand getting rid of the sim. We have seen that played a decent amount from Shoebill Nation, but if you were kind of expecting to play dive here, why not ban out the Reaper here so you could fully play into the Winston here and not really have a strong counter on the other side?
Yeah, it's something to tell, right? We got two teams that are 2-2 right now, both with great records. One of these teams are going to be moving forward here very, very shortly. And they are going to be fighting for that map win here. We got Shoebill Nation, which has been building up momentum in the last two maps. Can they do it for their lucky number 3? I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but low ground main, they're up in a tough spot. You're letting Shoebill Nation build back with this momentum. Stuff needs to shift for you, and I believe this is a perfect opportunity for both of the teams to compensate their choices and decide upon what is better and smarter.
Yeah, that's definitely something we talked about a little bit here, considering the couple times we have seen Shoebill play dive, it didn't necessarily look the best. They could force something here. They could force out the Malga. They could force out the Zarya again, because both those two tanks looked very good going up against low ground main, and low ground main seemed to struggle up against them as well. So, I mean, it could be something where you do see that Malga come out, because I mean, the Malga can melt down the bubble very, very quickly, making the Winston have to play a little bit more on his toes. And that's one thing we've seen low ground main kind of struggle with here tonight, is playing when a very, very aggressive and fast Shoebill Nation is going after them.
Yeah, and let's see if that aggression-paced momentum come out from the side of both of the teams. It needs to be fast. They need to capture as much time here up on Dorado moving forward. But we got great names for both of the teams. Like Zebra has been popping off, Simple has been popping off. It's been that tank battle, like how you did say. It's going to come down to those tanks getting those picks. Now, if it were to flip ways where low ground main does shift with that momentum up in here for Dorado, Shoebill Nation could still build back here, but I expect this one to be fighting back and forth, trade after trade, 50-50. It's going to be something.
It is going to be something. Quick reason why we're kind of still yapping at the moment. We had one player had an internet outage, making sure everything is good with them before we head in here to our final map of the night. And man, this has been an incredible series. And like we said, kind of coming into this one here, we thought that would be, this is what this series would bring us. Both these teams had played very good so far in the first half of the season. It was Shoebill Nation. Their only loss was against Sort of Skilled, the only other undefeated team in this Masters tier right now, and they're going up against, I mean, low ground main, who is undefeated themselves, but it could be very, very interesting here. Low ground main, no matter what is the outcome of this game, will still be undefeated heading into the second half of our season. They would have their first loss, or their first technical loss of the season if they do lose here right now.
Yeah, things could definitely shift here for low ground main if Shoebill Nation were able to get the overrun advantage against them. But it's something to decide. It is 2-2 here, heading up into map 5 scenario. And hey, I gotta say, that's a big fish.
Is this the fish cam they were talking about?
Oh, wait, Bron's doing something.
This is fish cam, I guess.
Oh, okay. Man. Okay. Let's talk about these compositions, right? So something that I kind of said, right? Low ground main is going to be bringing out the Winston composition, and you're looking at Shoebill Nation, which is kind of doing the same, and I like both of the choices that the teams are making here, but it's going to be something to watch out for. The tanks, right? That's something that we've been quoting throughout the series by far. These tanks have been battling back and forth, and if you're the tanks here, both playing Winston, you're going to be looking for probably the Ana 24/7 or one of those DPS. So let's see what both of the teams do. It's going to be that action-packed event that we all want to watch.
Shoebill going coastline here to start, and then you immediately see Simple Math just peel back just to get this cart pushed here a little bit. But now, I mean, this is a little bit of a problem here if you're Shoebill. You're leaving your DPS line and support line kind of free here, and you will see the peel come out there from Simple Math to keep them alive. But look at what Lovesane's doing here, swapping over to the Widowmaker very early on. We saw this work out for low ground main on Blizzard World, able to find that one pick early, but it's going to be Sunflower finding Pred out first, but then you immediately see that backline get melted for Shoebill.
Kind does get picked here from Simple. This is good from them, but Shoebill able to possibly get another up onto low ground main. I like the choice of the composition, having that Widow, but is it going to favor against Zebra, which could just dive on you any second? If you are Lovesane, you got to position very well against the Zebra.
Yeah, they have to be very, very careful where they put themselves at the moment, especially if you're someone like Kind as well. Just you cannot poke your head out long enough, because Lovesane has proven to us in these last two maps that they are a deadeye no matter what. Sticky going out there on the Sunflower, focusing beam, not going to be able to find him, but does loosen them up enough there for Zebra Cookie to just take him out.
Yeah, Zebra Cookie able to get that initial up onto Sunflower. Sunflower down, but is able to respawn here. You have Shoebill Nation still just trying to find answers, and Zebra once again in Pred finding answers for this low ground main side. Dex, I gotta say, they're doing a good job.
They're doing a good job, but they did let that cart get a little too much push there. However,
yeah.
If you're low ground main, I think you're actually liking that it's that far, because now Shoebill Nation has to always be engaging into a fight with you if they want to get the cart pushed.
Yeah, Shoebill Nation, though, changing a little bit of things up. Lovesane running the Sojourn, Sunflower up on the Tracer, but Shoebill Nation still running that same Monkey variant. Fred, though, with the Pulse up on the Daydream.
Going back to their first map form right there, getting rid of Daydream. I mean, they were great on that first map with Pulse Bomb. Zebra Cookie finding out Lovesane as well. And Shoebill Nation, I mean, your time bank is halfway gone now. You're starting to make those swaps to your composition. It's going to take about a minute here for them to get really built up with any perks. So you're leaving yourself with very little time here to get anything going.
Yeah, and as you said, perks do implement the game now. Shoebill Nation will need to charge up those perks. But Daydream will be sitting with that Nano, and the Nano is going to be up on the Simple. So maybe Simple could pull this aggression forward for Shoebill.
Nano out on the Zebra Cookie as well. Rally coming out from Shadowy here. Just trying to do anything going here. But look at what Zebra Cookie is doing here. Harassing that backline while, I mean, Simple Math's doing the exact same thing to their own backline. That support line no longer there for low ground main, and Saucer so close to that rally. But if you're low ground main at this point, you're backing up, trying to keep yourself alive, so you have one more go with this touch here.
So this is something that we want to get to see from both of the tanks, targeting that backline and having that pressure up on the main support and the flex support. If the Winstons can do this here, that would be great momentum for both. But you're looking at Shoebill Nation, which could just be back up into this one with Lovesane and possibly Simple getting some picks.
Rally coming out here from Saucer, trying to keep their team alive, but there's that Primal Rage coming out from Simple Math. However, cart is still being contested here at the moment, but you see that backline having to completely try to keep each other alive here. Zet Teriyaki in a very bad spot. The sleep is a whip. They're stuck in between a cactus and a wall. Simple Math will be able to find them there, and Shoebill Nation going to be able to get this first point here, keeping their push alive.
Yeah, low ground main got a little spiked there, but Shoebill Nation still alive, as you did quote. Lovesane is having that ultimate very, very shortly, and that's something to wait for, right? Against low ground main, which has two ultimates. Pred can hit a nasty pulse bomb like how. Oh wait, that's interesting.
That was a nasty pulse bomb, but not in the way that they were hoping it would be. Finds the side of the wall. They're not going to be able to find any picks, though. But, I mean, if you're Shoebill Nation, that only works out in your favor. Now the Primal Rage coming out here from Zebra Cookie. Anti-nade there on the Pred. Not really going to do a lot with that, but Zebra Cookie doing a good job just forcing back Shoebill Nation here for the moment. But this is something that we kind of talked about a little bit. Maybe a little bit of overinvestment of ult there from low ground main, because look at Shoebill now. They're about to have 4.
Shoebill, though, looking at a payload progression halfway, I would probably say. Shoebill Nation, though, 4 ultimates, as you did quote. They're going to be looking very good, but Daydream, with the Nano up on the Sun, maybe can't find some answers, and needs to, and Sun able to get up onto Pred.
And you almost have to wonder if that Nano was meant for Simple Math to keep them alive there, but it went on the Sunflower. They do find Pred out, but, I mean, that card is kind of installed now for the last little bit here, so that ultimate lead that Shoebill had is now gone. It's pretty much even across the board.
Very much agree here. Shoebill Nation, though, they are in a position where they need to push this just a bit more. But look at Zebra here, Deck.
They go diving in, but the rally coming out from Shadowy here just to keep everyone alive there. Zebra Cookie nanoed up here right now, going to be able to find that rallying. Shadowy Daydream taken out as well, so that backline completely obliterated right now for Shoebill Nation. Less than a minute on the clock, and you're starting to see Low Ground Main clean up this fight, but I mean, Simple Math adding on a little bit of meterage to this push, gonna probably, you know, end up costing them their life, as it does right there. But I mean, pushing as far as you can right now is probably the main goal.
Yeah, very much great here. Shoebill Nation need to push this as far as possible. Love Sane with their ultimate ready to go, but look at this pressure and aggression from Zebra. Able to pop Primal up in the room, just focusing out those supports.
Trying to get rid of Shadowy right now, trying to juggle them whichever way they can find, but just not being able to do anything with it right there. That Primal Rage is gone. They're going to have to use this last jump they have just to get out. You do have Pred right there. It looks like they invested a Pulse Bomb, not going to be able to find anything with it that time around, but now, Low Ground Main, you have only one ultimate left to go, while Shoebill Nation coming up to 3, potentially even 4.
Yeah, Low Ground Main did use Pred's Pulse Bomb there, so no Pulse Bomb just yet. But look at Love saying maybe Love could find a pick here up on the Low Ground Main, but no. Overtime will be ticking here, Dex.
Fred gonna be able to find Love Sane right there. Simple Math does have a Primal Rage here left to go here if they do need to keep this contest alive. Rally coming out there from Saucer just to force Simple Math off the high ground. Now here comes the Primal Rage trying to juggle whoever they can, but that cart being stalled. Shadowy taking out Pulse Bomb from Sunflower, not gonna be able to find anyone that time around, and you're just seeing Low Ground Main clean up here, and they desperately need this card to stop here, and now Simple Math will eventually fall. But I mean, Low Ground Main, they did make it a decent way into point 2.
Yeah, good push here from one side, but the other will be able to find an answer against it, or maybe we'll be able to see something like how we got to see what Blizzard World was for an outcome. But yeah, a lot of good stuff here and scenes from Low Ground Main. Looking at the replay, Zebra was always there to find those beneficial factors, those picks going up into those initial forwards. But Low Ground Main, they always had a plan, right? They either went up in with the nano or communicated something with the positioning off to like right or left. But Shoebill Nation, though, they're still up in it. They were definitely communicating, I would probably say. They just need to be a little quicker than the side of Low Ground Main. I feel like it's the same thing that we kind of got to see. Oh, well, the same thing, like how we did just get to see. More fish, I guess.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is kind of what we were going back to and why we kind of thought that new Low Ground Main picked this map here. A little bit of a dive map. They have been a little bit more prevalent on it. The communication, you kind of saw it there a lot. Kind, Pred, and Zebra Cookie were very much in sync, just being able to follow up each other a lot there. Shoebill Nation, though, and it's been something we've been able to say every map about them. They get better as the map goes on. They struggled coming out the gate, but the fact that they got almost to that second point really does show them a lot about how they improved on the dive. Now, as they go over to the defensive side, they're keeping the Winston. Remember, they banned out the Diva. Maybe this would be a map that you would want the Diva back for defense.
Yeah, and looking at both of the compositions, you're definitely going to look at both the Winstons, still focusing out those back lines, but both the Winstons taking the points initial there, but just a look at each other, I'd probably say.
Yeah, I mean, each Winston, I think, really just trying to build up their Ana's nano here so they can get going very, very fast. I mean, you see them just going after each other right now, but now, I mean, Dilmat does have a little bit of pressure there onto that back line, but it's going to be Zebra Cookie with help from Saucer taking care of Simple Math, and that should get this Low Ground Main cart push just kick-started here now.
And Low Ground Main find themselves up in a great position, eliminating Simple out of this fight real quick. Fred able to find one up on the Sunflower, but look at this, Dex. If you are Zebra, you are able to find even more oppositions. Oh my gosh.
And a huge anti-nade there kind of led to all these picks you're seeing already. Simple Math gonna fall as well, and this should be Low Ground Main once they get 2 or 3 members on the cart, capping it up here. You see Sunflower coming back, but I don't necessarily know if this is the type of engagement you want to be touching at all.
So, looking at Shoebill Nation, they need to do something. Maybe target focus that back line, like how I've been saying. If they do that, can... Oh, wait. No.
Yeah. Cart not capped there yet, but it should be capped just about now. Once you get rid of Simple Math, I mean, they jumped up a little bit too high there. Simple Math accepting their death right there. Almost 5 minutes here for low ground main to push it 83 meters, basically.
Yeah, I'm a little questioned about Shoebill Nation's side of things. They have these ultimates though, right? That's something that we're going to be looking forward with. Can they find answers though? That was a little rough for the start, but look at this. The Nano engage.
Nano thrown out on, Anti thrown out very early. Deadeye coming out in the hallway! Oh, it's going to force Zebra Cookie to fall immediately back. But you get rid of the Nano because of that right there. I think you take that trade if you're Shoebill Nation. However, still a lot of time to go. You need to win a fight. You need to win it fast. Pulse Bomb coming out them from Bread. Not going to be able to find anyone this time around, but Simple Math will find them out. So that should slow down low ground main here just for a brief moment.
Good way to answer here. If you are Shoebill Nation, you have ultimates Primal and Nano up on board. Shadowy just trying to build up the Brig Rally. That could be almost ready to go and might be popped for sustain up on the side of low ground main, though. Fred is dead. Sunflower finds that answer.
And Kind almost being able to melt down Daydream right there, but Shadowy pops that rally at the perfect time here. Rally out from Saucer as well. Remember, low ground main down 1, make it down 2 as Zet Teriyaki falls and Nano being invested here. Shoebill Nation, they want to win this fight and they want to win it outright, and that's exactly what they're going to be able to do here. And I mean, for as far up as low ground main has been able to push into some of these engagements, that cart is still very much sitting back there.
Yeah, it's looking good for Shoebill Nation, but it's also looking good for low ground main. You look at the ultimate economy, you're going to have Nano, right? That could be possibly popped on your Winston. But look at Kind with the sticky up on the Simple. If they wanted to engage off of this Dex, they can.
They can easily do it right there. Pulse Bomb coming out from Sunflower, though, will find Saucer, so that will slow down low ground main here just for a brief moment, but you finally start seeing them pushing this card a little bit right now. Anti-Nate coming out there, forcing everyone to split up, but that sleep is so huge right there. Love Saint finds Pred, and now Zebra Cookie, I mean, they're trying to get whatever value they can out of this primal rage here, but not going to be able to do a lot with it. Instead, it's their backline that's falling. The Deadeye again from Love Saint, not necessarily going to find a lot of value, but it will force low ground main back here. And Naya, that time bank halfway gone now, but you have gotten halfway to the win here if you are low ground main.
Yeah, time is still ticking here. If you are low ground main, you're still sitting up in a good scenario, but Shoebill Nation, they've been fighting their way back up in these scenarios with their ults. Love Saint hasn't been really able to get anything yet, so maybe they will up in the lower time zones, but Simple might be able to find more answers up onto this back line. It's going to be interesting, especially how they are positioned up on that high ground. Maybe it could happen.
Nice whip shot coming out there from Saucer to get Simple Math off the high ground. Zebra Cookie, though, with this Nano already finding 2, looking for a third right now on the Sunflower. Pred will be able to take care of their counterpart. And now if you're Shoebill Nation, you need Simple Math to just stall out this cart as long as they possibly can. Instead, though, it seems like they're trying to juggle someone off the map. They might be able to do that, but the cart, someone needs to touch the cart, and they're not able to get back in time. Low ground main, and I have the feeling they almost stole this victory here, but they so deserve it. Heading on to the NA Masters Midseason Grand Finals.
Yeah, and I think Saucer there, looking towards that, and I think Saucer was able to find that whip shot up onto the Winston, which disabled the Winston to come back up into that fight scenario. But very, very well done from this team alone. They definitely deserved it here. Low ground main finding themselves in a great scenario. They don't got to worry about that momentum anymore. But Shoebill Nation was such a tough opponent. Definitely give credit to Shoebill Nation. Very, very much great players up on both of the sides.
Yeah, and I think if you're Shoebill Nation here, I mean, this loss doesn't hurt your record. You're still going to be 3-1 going into week 5. And I think this is a good kind of test for Shoebill Nation. It's a good kind of, mark you can put on it for the back half of the season. One you can really build on, because like we said, the first 2 maps, they were a couple fights away from maybe taking those maps, but in maps 3 and 4, they definitely picked it up a little bit and looked like the much better team in this series. Low ground main, though, they brought it to a dive map, and that's something that we talked about. They had always kind of been better on throughout this entire series, and they ended up winning out in the end. Shoebill Nation, though, like I said, no reason to hang their head about this performance. Hell, build upon it. They seem like a scary team, and going in the back half of the season, one you're going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, and even if they were to run that Malga composition, how teams have been running with the pro scene up in Overwatch Esports, that was so good from them. And I would be scared if you're any other team that plays against this Shoebill side, because even in scenarios where they're down points, they could find great ways to find, a great opportunity to get back. And Shoebill Nation definitely was trying to do it here against Low Ground Main, but didn't find the answer. Low Ground Main, though, does find the answer up onto this Shoebill side, but so much nice things that we got to see. The little false bomb mistake, the Zarya dying up on its own,
That happens.
the whip
from
shot
time
up
to
on the
time.
Winston.
And that happens from time to time. But look at this series. I mean, the first two maps, like we said after the break there, were a lot closer than what the scoreline really tells you. After that, you see how close they really were. Really, in my opinion, Shoebill Nation looked like the better team in maps 3 and 4. And at points here in maps 5, they got better. They got more comfortable with the dive. And playing it on both sides there as that map went on, but just not able to finish the job here. Low Ground Main moving on. And I mean, they're the only other undefeated team here, one of two. The other one is Sort of Skilled, who will be taking on Celestial Knights in their semifinal to come up here soon. Probably tomorrow or the day after, but I mean, you see the bans here, and they were very targeted throughout the entire series. Maybe a couple that kind of left us scratching our heads, but in these final two maps, they were surely targeted, and they feel like they were all found the value they were looking for.
Yeah, and with this win here of Low Ground Main taking this one, they will have that 15-3 win-loss map record. And I gotta say, Dex, that is from the one side of Low Ground Main, but as well, Shoebill Nation getting maps up on the side of Low Ground Main to keep on fighting. But as words from Prod, there will be an interview of this one. So everybody stay up in your seats. We will be here very, very shortly with our candidates. Dex, let's do this.
Yep, we'll be right back, y'all. All right, y'all. Welcome back to the booth. We are pleased to be joined by Kind and Zet Teriyaki here. Y'all, congratulations on the victory here tonight. Probably a little bit too close for comfort for you, but it was a very back and forth series all the way through. But you guys able to win that map 5. I mean, I have to imagine there's a huge sigh of relief right after that final map.
Yeah, there was definitely some words that were being spoken to teammates. But it's okay. We honestly at the second half of the point when we were down 2 maps, we just like, oh, guys, we're playing stupid. Let's not do that. And then yeah.
Interesting. So, talking about that point where you guys were in that scenario where low ground and Shoebill Nation, where Shoebill Nation did build back to your point advantage. Were you guys nervous against Shoebill Nation? I know that they were building momentum going up into that 5th map, and they tried, shifting your composition, but were you guys worried at all?
No, honestly, we were never worried. I think we deserved to lose that Malga map, and then after that, tossed a little bit, but we locked in, got it all solved.
Yeah, I think once we after the first map, we kind of realized that we were just better on dive, and just by proxy, there's gonna be more dive maps, so we weren't really worried throughout the maps. We were like, okay, eventually we'll win the dive map and call it a day. It was just a matter of seeing if we can win the brawl maps as well.
Yeah, very, very much true. I really loved your dive composition. I think that was something to always, have as a unique comp heading forth, even like next week, right? Or even, your next match of your midseason. That's going to be something to watch, right? So going up into that, are you still going to be running that composition against the opposing team, or will you switch it up after, what was set up on this cast?
Ooh, are you asking us to give us a secrets out? Nah, we'll probably be running something
I don't
similar.
know.
We'll probably be running something similar. Honestly, like, we're a pretty flexible team in general, so it just depends on the map that's kind of put forward before us, and then we sort of make compositions, and then occasionally our tank decides to just play like hog for some reason, so.
We're gonna one-trick Malga now.
Yeah, we gotta learn how to play that composition.
That's pretty funny.
I mean, it seems like everyone's trying to relearn the Malga here again. But you guys, winners here tonight. Moving on to that midseason grand finals, you will be going up against the matchup or the winner of Sora Skilled and Celestial Knights here. What team are you really hoping to see in that matchup there?
You want to take this, guys?
Yeah, I think it's the top one is SLS, right?
I was gonna say I want to see the other team because we are 0-4 in grand finals. I need one, please.
You're not 0-4. We're like 0-2.
I'm not, but our team is 0-4. I need one, por favor.
Yeah, I mean, Sora Skilled, I believe, is 4-0, yet to drop a map in the entire first half of the season. While Celestial Knights, I believe they're 3-1, just like Shoebill Nation was tonight. So, I mean, no matter what, you guys are gonna be going up against a pretty tough team in that grand final. So it should be a really fun one to watch. But y'all, before we let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your night, we want to give you guys the floor to shout out anyone or anything that you guys would like.
I'm gonna shout out Chipotle because low-key tossed 2 maps for us because our DPS decided to take their hands off the keyboard to eat Chipotle and then died at the end of Dorado. Or not Dorado, at the end of Blizzard World. Yeah, that was fun. Anyone you got?
Yeah.
No, I think Shoebill is definitely the ball. That's why we lost.
Not sponsored. Not sponsored.
not sponsored. Not at all. Okay. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming in and doing this interview. Again, that was Kind and Zet Teriyaki here. Your winners tonight with low ground main. They'll be moving on to the grand finals here in the NA Masters tier midseason. Hey guys, again, thank you so much and go enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. But Naya, it was an incredible series between these two teams, and honestly, kind of one that me and you both expected to see. Not necessarily almost a reverse sweep, but we expect to see a back and forth series, and these two teams delivered on that.
Yeah, it was very exciting from the action back and forth, heading up into, all the maps that we got to see. But we will have that, other match, which is going on. We could actually take a look at the scores. Matter of fact, we do have them. It's actually quite intriguing looking at these scores, Dex, because At least we didn't get to see a 3-0 Overwatch. I was a little worried about the 3-0.
We might be one of the only people that don't get to see a 3-0 Overwatch this, at least in the first rounds of games. But yeah, Emmy
Exactly.
Abyssal losing to Cuddle Puddle in a sweeping fashion. This one going the distance, low ground main beating Shoebill Nation. And I believe live currently right now on CGL1, it is Solar Eclipse and Phantoms. Once this stream ends, head over there. We'll probably be rating CGL1 as well here. So you're not going to want to miss it. Still a little bit more action to go in tonight's CGL. And there will be definitely more action tomorrow with both EU and NA that no one is going to want to miss. But I think we should sign off there.
Me and you will be there, Dex. Me and you tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be
that'll
flying
nice.
across the pond to go cover one of those games tomorrow. But that will do it for us here
Exactly.
tonight, though, on the NA side. At least on CGL2. Tomorrow there'll probably be another one. But want to give a quick shout out to Reach Dad and Hippie for doing all the behind-the-scenes work. Naya, it was amazing as always, but that will do it for us here tonight on CGL2. We'll be rating CGL1, so everyone stick around. We're going to be going right over there right now.
Yes, I do remember you, Ryan.
See you guys.
You haven't been in stream